Getting ready to drop the heel in here. I'm going to first come in with a slicer wheel, square it off, find my center, drill it out. I got a drill bit here that I just eyeball. It looks like it'll work. And then I'm going to countersink it just for a little bit of weld area. And I'm going to start building it out, trying to make it taper because I'm wanting this to, like a sexy taper, and heel's kind of what I'm going for here. But yeah, just I'm going to just drop this in. I'm going to get this ground flush and start, try to drop this in where it goes, get it welded in, start building it out. Let's rock and roll. All right, now that I get this cleaned up, I'm trying to put it down in to get past the wedge. I mean, a ½ inch in would be plenty, but I can go plenty in. But I'm looking for a good sexy angle forward on the heel, like an actual heel would look. And I'm trying to line it up with the very point of it. I don't actually know if they line up with the toe or the point. It doesn't actually matter. And I'm shooting off of this to make sure I've got enough to come through the plate that I'm gonna have it on, and then I'll cut it across once I get through the plate. That way the wiring will run. So yeah, I'm just gonna get set up here and get it welded in, weld the base out, run some stringers down it, try to taper it just a little bit. All right, here we are. It looks like a big gobbled up mess, and really kind of it is. But I'm gonna come in here and start grinding, get in here as best as I can, get these roughed in as close as possible without going exactly where I'm going. And then I'll use flapper wheels to grind it all in. Then I'm just gonna bring this in, taper it in just a little bit, and start dressing everything really well. Once I get that done, and same with the belt, I gotta get the butt welded up and do some butt stuff. Now I gotta get it welded up and ground in. Then I can start dressing in all these seams, weld these and dress these in. But for right now, I'm gonna concentrate on the shoe. That's where I'm at today. I wanna get the shoe done and get this set and see what it looks like. All right, today's goal, I'm gonna take this disc. It's off a farm implement. I got a whole pile of them from a good friend of mine, farmer. But I'm gonna take and weld this whole in solid, wire wheel the whole thing down, plasma cut some holes. I'm probably have to weld the bolts onto the bottom of the leg lamp first. So I'll plasma cut, I'm thinking 2, maybe 3 holes for bolts to come through, and then I'll have to punch a hole for the heel to peek through. And from there, be able to mount it, do my final grinding, polishing out, wire wheeling, heat fire it. I don't know if I'll get it heat fired today. That might be too ambitious. But yeah, I definitely want to get this up and mounted. Get some nuts welded to the bottom. That way I can put some bolts with some cane tips, I believe it would be on them. Some rubber, that way it lifts it off the ground. We won't pinch the cord. So yeah, let's just get going on this and follow along. Let's get rocking. Right now, what my thought process is going to be is to find the center of the base plate here and the center of the leg, and then measure out where I'm going to need the hole for the heel, which is where the electrical wires are going to come through. Then I'm going to punch. I'm starting to say 2, but I'm probably going to go 3. 1, 2, 3 different holes where I need them here. Then transfer the mark over to here, and I'm going to try to drill and tap so we can bolt from the bottom. If that doesn't work, then I can weld them. But I think I would rather be able to bolt them on than to weld the studs through. I don't know. Just my thought process as I'm moving here. Let's see what I can get done. I'm going to attempt drilling these, but chances are to burn my drill bits up because this is a hardened disc plate. But I use whiteout since I'm using plasma cutter. The whiteout does not disappear with the heat. It's the perfect marking, especially if you're eyeballing stuff like I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eyeball the dimensions of the holes that I'm gonna need the studs to put through. But yeah, whiteout is always my go-to. I usually use the whiteout pens. I'm out of them. I had that on the shelf, so that's what I'm using. Looks like when I was hammering it in, I kinked the high heel. So I'm gonna cut it off, but it's a perfect opportunity to grind this in while I'm repairing the heel. It's part of the process. Getting a little kinky with it. Started out with these Combat Abrasives. This is 60 grit. Next one I'm finding here is 120. I might have another grit in between, but this is what I'm finding. So we're at 40. Yeah, I'm just gonna start running through the grits. Getting ready to add the 3 nuts so that I can add the bolts for the feet. Kind of level it out, but not really. 3 points or sit better than 4 because 4 will always wobble. I measured 1 inch in to start the first one, and then diameter times pi divided by 3, it leaves me at 18.5 inches. So I'll mark around, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a sacrificial nut over there. Bring it across before I weld these 3 on. I'll bring it up flush, 1 inch from the edge, spot weld it, and keep moving right on around the same way every time. So yeah, let's just get started here. All right, I've brought you in to show you this little detail right here I can't get into with the normal flapping wheels I've got. So what I use, I keep on hand and they're too expensive to use all the time. Hopefully you can see this without the glare. These Diablo corner edge design. Now Combat Abrasives, I believe offers these. Last time I looked, I can't really remember. I bought a stockpile of them to have on hand. So I'm gonna use them up. But for these, I can come in here and use the back edge of them. And just that little bitty point right there, stroke that in just a little bit. I wish they made these in finer grits so I could work the grits through, but they don't. So it's just where we're at. All right, time to start laying in how I'm gonna mount the actual light fixture itself. I'm gonna run some strapping across flush with the top on this one, and then I'm gonna level it out. It's gonna be down lower, and I'll weld these in. These are gonna be the mounts, and I'm gonna have a single strap coming across with a hole drilled through the thickest part of the leg. That way the light bulb speaker will fit down in there. But yeah, I could take the time to level this, but I'm not going to because I want as much of the butt feature as I can to show. So I'm gonna put this one out flush. And then, like I said, just bring this down level, however far it needs to actually be level the way it's sitting, and do it there, and I'll drill and tap it. All right, the very last step to what I do, because I hate painting and all that, all I do is shoot a clear satin lacquer when it's done. But I've got just regular old brush burners you get at any implement store. I got 3 of them. I got a bunch more around somewhere. A lot of them are breaking. It's not ideal. It's what I've got for right now. But yeah, I'm gonna fire all these propane burners. I'm gonna pull the whole thing up to as close to a red hot heat and hold it for as long as I can entirely. And it'll pull a mill scale out, then I can wire wheel it down. It'll all be the same color. There'll be no variations in color. It pulls a real dark, beautiful color. Let it cool completely before I wire wheel it, because for whatever reason, it just wire wheels better after it's cool. and then we'll shoot the lacquer on it and do the final wiring. All right, let's get going. You shouldn't do things that I do things because it's the only option I've got. All right, here we go. She's cooled down. She's ready to wire wheel. I'm gonna start with a cup wire wheel, move over to the other style. I got it around here somewhere. Here we go. I'll finish it out with one of these if it needs it. And shoot a little satin lacquer on it. I don't really like the glossy look. We'll get into that in a minute. I just don't like the way it reflects light. But yeah, here we are. We'll cool down. I'll get some pictures and start wire wheeling. And then I can shoot probably the first coat or two of lacquer today. I'll do 3 or 4 coats total. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the day out with this finally coming together. And tomorrow we'll get it wired. All right, here we are, the last steps. I've got this 3-way lamp kit. And what I'm gonna do is I bought a plumbing tee, a little brass 1/8 inch plumbing tee. What do we got here? 1/8 inch FIP brass pipe tee. And these hardware, these lamp pieces are 1/8 inch IF threads. I don't know what any of that means. I just know they work. So go to the plumbing section, get a 3-way tee. If you're gonna wire it with a light facing down so you can put a Bluetooth speaker in it or a regular light bulb. Right now I've just got a regular yellow light bulb just to get through the project. But I've got an extra lamp kit here. So I'm gonna thread this in there and then put this up above it, lock it in, wire it in. I'm not going to teach you how to wire it in. I'm not an electrician. I got a friend of mine that is. He's a fellow YouTuber, so I'm going to try to get him to collaborate and actually wire this in step by step so you can see it if you need to. But I'm just going to set up and run the way I do it. I suggest consulting a professional, taking it to a professional. This is the part that'll burn your house down. So I've lost a house in a fire, not due to that, but due to a candle. Anyhow, fires suck. Take it to a professional, get it wired in, or just wing it like I do. I mean, I had a solid base knowledge of wiring. Just not good enough to take the liability to teach you. Anyhow, I'm just gonna start rolling with it and get this project done. It's a few days before Christmas. Gotta get this done, gotta knock the other project out, and then I'm done for the year besides cleaning the shop. But yeah, let's just go. Let's wrap this up. All right, here's the reason I used the pipe for the heel and was insistent that the pipe had to have a clear avenue to get something through. This is how I could have punched it up through the heel or up to the sole, but that's not what I wanted to do here. Here comes the moment of truth. These wires were marked different than I'm used to. Let's see if we blow anything up. So far, so good. Hey, nothing exploded. All right, roll on. All right, attempt number 2. I got my lampshade thing put on here. Run these down. I got the attachment points countersunk. I like it a lot.